YouTubers, and welcome to another Doctor Who episode review. Today, Jonathan and I are looking at Remembrance of the Daleks from season 25. Well done. Yep. Well, what did you think? What do you think of this story?
Rubbish. No, excellent story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of McCoy's best.
I think his is best.
You think his is best?
Yeah, I would say so. The pace of it is great. When we were watching it, we said, or I think I said, it just goes so quickly. Yeah. You watch this story and you can't believe, gosh, I just sat through 4 25-minute episodes. Yeah. 25-minute episodes of the story. Very quick. There's not much to say, really. No. It's a very, very good story. Very well directed. Great script. The script is brilliant. Yeah. Ben Aronovich, superb writing. Yeah.
You know how to write the Daleks. So, things we picked up on, obviously we've got a pre-title sequence, which is odd. Probably the
more unusual.
Third time, wasn't it? Third time it had happened, we'd worked it out. Yeah. It happened first in Cast Revolver.
Cast Revolver you have it, then you have it again in Time of the Rani, and then
this one. And I think it works well, and I wish they probably should have just kept that, I think. I mean, obviously they do it all the time in the new series. That little...
I don't know, I'm not overly keen on it.
Really?
Yeah, not really. I'd rather have it just start off with this part one, off we go.
Oh, but I like that. I like having a little pre-credit sequence because it sort of draws.
It draws you in. I can see why they do it. I can see why they do it. But I suppose I was just so used to not having it and then doing it. I thought it was quite strange. But you know, each to their own.
Okay. So obviously this story is totally littered with continuity from the last
full of it
25 years of Doctor Who, filled with it, and we did say that. Compared to Silver Nemesis, which is the actual 25th anniversary story, this would have been a better 25th anniversary story because, well, it's just a hell of a lot better, and it has more about.
There's more links to the previous years.
Yeah. Even though I think on the special features on the DVD, Ben Aronovich says he wasn't told to do that, and he wasn't told that he couldn't do that. Yeah. He just sort of did it. He just sort of thought, oh, well, why not? Kind of thing.
That's right.
And I think it works well. It's not enough that you have to have seen those previous stories or anything. Someone who hasn't watched every episode of Doctor Who up until this point can't. It's not like they're going to sit down and watch this story and go, oh, I'm totally confused. No. It's all pretty clear.
It's very, very clear, and there's just little things that are in there for the people that have watched the programme in years gone by. Little things you can pick up and go, oh, that's nice. Little hint to an Earthly Child here with the history book. That sort of thing.
And one of them being obviously when the Doctor and Ace get embroiled with whatever they're called. Oh, what are they called? There's the military people. What's their name? They've got a name, haven't they? Their little group.
Army.
No, they have got a name. Big Finish have just done a load of audio plays with them. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
And they're called
the Chunkies.
The Chunkies, Chunky Gilmore. Anywho, well, they get involved with this military group.
Not Unit.
Not Unit, no. Because obviously Unit hadn't been invented by this point.
No, not 63.
No. Yeah. The Brigadier role is played by Group Captain Gilmore. And at one point the Doctor even says, oh...
Brigadier.
Yeah, he does say Brigadier, which is nice. So there's a nice little nod. We did actually say there was a bit of a shit line in this, which didn't make any sense.
No, yeah, that's right.
Which was, the Doctor says to Group Captain Gilmore, as soon as he meets, he says, I take it you're with the military. And Group Captain Gilmore says, oh, how the devil did you know that? And the Doctor says, I'm very perceptive. Now,
how do you not know?
Yeah, there's all these soldiers around the bloody place. How did you know that I was a soldier? I can see why it could have been funny, but it is just so silly that it just doesn't. You lose the humour out of it. Yeah. I hadn't really noticed it before.
No, I've noticed it before, and I thought it was worth
mentioning. But when you said
it,
I think in other circumstances it might have worked. I know that is the point of the joke because he says, "Oh, I'm very perceptive." But the fact that he would even question that in the first place
seems rather odd, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit silly. The first glimpse we sort of get of the Daleks in this story, we have the eye
piece.
Yeah, we see the point of view from the Dalek eye stalk, which and we have the new gun ray effect that when it hits a person, not only do we get the negative effect, we get the skeleton. Yeah.
It's very effective.
Yeah, it's really, really good. And of course, so much so that both things actually went on to influence the new series.
Yeah.
Because in the new series we have like the special readout things for the Dalek Ice piece, and when people get exterminated you see the skeleton.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I mean very good, very impressive for the time. Like when the guy first gets shot, he gets flung back. Very good. So we first see the Dalek, the Renegade Dalek. It's on fire, which is quite cool. You know, poor man in
Only the base of it is on fire. It's not the whole thing engulfed in flames. Just the very bottom. But it's just nice to see.
Yeah, I'm sure that man was probably thinking,
battle damage.
Shit, I'm not going to burn alive in this bloody thing. And of course we have Michael Sheard playing the
Headmaster.
Headmaster, yeah. So he's playing the headmaster of the school, which is cool because obviously Michael Sheard is one of those sort of stalwarts of Doctor Who. He's been in so many episodes. It is mad. I mean, he was in Ambassadors of Death. He was in Pyramids of Mars. He was in Invisible Enemy. He's been... Oh, he was in Castrovalva.
Yeah.
He has been in so many stories. He might have even been in somewhere else before that. He was in the... No, was he in Ambassadors of Death? No, he was in Mind of Evil.
Yeah, Mind of Evil.
Yeah. I mean, obviously this was his last story.
And also he was playing a headmaster in Grange Hill at the time.
Was he really?
Apparently so.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, so that was another sort of little link.
Little link.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
So the documentary said.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. And it's sad that he never got the chance to be... Obviously now he's sadly passed away. He never got the chance to be in the new series. Because it would have been nice because at least then we said, we managed to be in sort of every, era almost of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
When the Doctor and Ace go to Cold Hill School, which is, we all know, is the school that Susan Foreman, the Doctor's granddaughter, went to in An Unearthly Child, and that's where Ian and Barbara worked. And when they go into the science block, there is the French Revolution book, which is the book that Barbara gives to Susan and says, have a read of this. When they sort of first have that little meeting, Ian and Barbara, at the very beginning of An Unearthly Child. Obviously this is 1963, this story is set in. We're under the assumption that the first Doctor has been to Earth, living in the junkyard in Totter's Lane. He brought the Hand of Omega, which is what the crux of this story is. Hand of Omega, stellar manipulator, created by Omega to create black holes and all that business. And we assume that when he fled with Susan, he brings the Hand of Omega with him, and then by the point that the Seventh Doctor arrives, the First Doctor, Susan, Ian and Barbara have left for...
Wherever.
Yeah, he's trying to kidnap the teachers. Yeah. So, I don't really understand why the French Revolution book is still there, because I'm sure Susan takes it with her.
I don't remember whether she takes it with her.
Wait, the last shot you see of her, because she says, I'll read it. And
she opens it up and says, that's not right.
And then it crossfades to like Ian and Barbara in the car.
Yeah, but does she take it with? I don't know. I can't remember.
Maybe she doesn't. Yeah, let's just say she didn't.
I'm sure somebody will tell us.
Yeah, someone might know. And then, of course, we have this very nice bit down in the basement of the school. Obviously, the headmaster is under Dalek control. Well, we don't know he's under Dalek control at the time, but he's doing weird things with his ear.
Yeah.
And we go down to the basement, we see the transmat, and we have this really nice effect of the Dalek transmatting into the thing, because you can see all the insides of the Dalek, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And then it sort of creates the outline around it.
A bit like Revelation of the Daleks.
Yeah. And then of course we have the impressive thing of a Dalek going up the stairs for the first time.
Yes, gosh, that was frightening. When I watched that live when I was 6 years old, to see a Dalek going up the stairs, chasing after the Doctor. That petrified me, especially when you see the green. You see from the Dalek's perspective, and you look at the Doctor, and the Doctor's petrified. That haunted me for a few weeks. That image. I think, how's he going to get out of this? Bit of a letdown, Rowan. You see the next week how he gets out of it, but which we'll mention now. But that initially seeing that, what a shock!
Yeah, because obviously you started watching Doctor Who the season before from time to time. You watched it all proper.
Yeah.
And then obviously in the interim period...
I've watched lots of others in between.
Yeah, you've seen Death to the Daleks as the first video, wasn't it?
Yeah, Death to the Daleks was the first, yeah.
Yeah. So that's... It was nice for you, really, that you were able to have that moment of going, oh, you know, I remember a time, sort of, when the Daleks didn't go upstairs.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because a lot of younger kids these days watching the new series are going to think, well, Daleks have always
but they haven't
flown and gone upstairs and stuff, which is a shame. And then it also pisses me off when a lot of people, when the new series started, I had so many people going, oh, Daleks can go upstairs now then. I was like, yeah, they've been able to do that since 1988. Yeah. And they're like, oh, have they? I said, yes. I was like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, get it right. We have that also a nice thing, which you wouldn't get in Doctor Who today, is the Headmaster knees Ace in the stomach.
Yeah.
He properly smacks her in the bloody stomach.
Yeah.
And Windsor, you would never see that today because the BBC would be like, whoa, no, kids will try and do that in the playground.
Yeah. They think their teachers are going to turn on them and do that.
Yeah. A lot of massive explosions.
Oh, the explosions in this story are absolutely incredible. Well, you just got that one where the Special Weapons Dalek blows up the Daleks on the street. Those two. Completely obliterates them. Brilliant effect. And then
the one with the gates.
The gates, absolutely incredible. And obviously we know that all the alarms went off
and blew all the windows out.
And the fire brigade came down and saw these Daleks out of the smoke. Yeah, very, very good.
Incredible. It melted the Daleks, didn't it?
And for that guy in the new series who does the effects to say, oh no, bit over the top. No. Just because you want to do it and you can't. So, and that's it. It's a brilliant explosion, much better than what they have these days. I mean, these days
they do have some good ones.
They do have some good ones.
We did see Human Nature. That was
Human
a really
Nature.
good
That was good, but not on the same scale, I'm afraid. And to say it's bit over the top. What? Come on, you'd love to do that.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure you. Yeah, deep down you're thinking, oh, I wish I could like blow them so much that it smashed the windows of ITV's warehouse. It was. But no, some incredible explosions and some really bloody good action sequences in this. And I will say that about a lot of McCoy's story does have a lot of good things like that actually. You know, like we said, Special Weapons Dalek. We did note actually that this is a bit stupid. You have 4 Imperial Daleks. Those are the white and gold ones for those who aren't aware. And we've got 2 Renegade Daleks.
That's right.
So the 4 Renegade Daleks, the 4 Imperial Daleks go around the corner and bump into these 2 Renegade Daleks, and they start shooting at each other. Yeah. They're not that far away from each other.
No.
They miss. The Imperial Daleks are the most terrible shots. Yeah. They miss these Daleks all the time. Yeah. Like straight past them, blowing up the walls, and then all of a sudden a Renegade Dalek blows up 2 of them, doesn't it? Yeah. They kill 2 of the Imperial Daleks. And then the Imperial Daleks are like, oh my god, heavy resistance. Yeah. But it's not heavy resistance. No. There's only 2 of them.
There's 4 of you.
Yeah, they're just shit. I mean, Davros must be thinking, oh dear. Feck, what have I done?
On the wrong side here.
Yeah, God, I've created some crappy Daleks here. Yeah. You know, it's a bit... I mean, obviously, it lends itself to that incredible bit with the Special Weapons Dalek,
that's
which is really cool. I mean, what did you think when you saw the Special Weapons Dalek when you were a little boy?
Amazing, because I'd never seen anything like it before. Yeah. What is this? It was just, incredible. Yeah. And to see, like, the power of it, just think, wow. Yeah. Yeah, very, very good.
It is a good variation of the Dalek. Yeah. And it is such a bloody shame that it didn't do anything in Asylum of the Daleks. Well, that's a story to review another time. But that was the biggest letdown in history.
Yeah, but that story was just a letdown. It's just terrible.
It's just bollocks. Yeah. Pure and simple. Yeah. Sorry if you actually like that story.
Although I didn't know why you would, but anyway.
You've got the bit with the soldiers fighting the Renegade Daleks by the sandbags. Yeah. That's all really nice. You've got Ace with that massive rocket launcher when she blows that Dalek up.
And did you notice?
Use the fire that comes out the back. Yeah. And it causes yeah.
It's very good.
They would never let anyone do that these days.
No.
They would never say, "Oh, here you go,
Sophie."
Yeah, or Jenna Louise Coleman. Here's a rocket launcher that's bigger than you.
Yeah.
Try and blow up a Dalek for us. Thank you.
He wanted Sylph to do it first. You know that?
Yeah.
And he said, "No, the Doctor wouldn't do this. He wouldn't use this. So he said, "Pure Ace, you can do it."
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that they didn't do that because it wouldn't have worked. Wouldn't have worked. No. Would have been different if it was someone like Pertwee. I think Pertwee might have had a go. Because Pertwee kills Ogron. Yeah. He kills 2 Ogrons if the special edition, which is marvellous.
Very good. I can't believe it. I thought I texted you.
Yeah, you did.
He's just killing his Ogron.
And I know people get quite funny about that.
Do they?
Yeah. I've had lots of discussions about people, and they do get quite funny about the Doctor using guns at all. It doesn't bother me really. I mean, it depends on the persona.
Yeah.
Certain ones, I think shouldn't, but I think at times, if he does use a gun, I think it just shows that he isn't this perfect pacifist guy.
Yeah.
And when the chips are down, that sometimes you just have to resort to violence.
Yeah.
Now,
I'll mention this. Okay. When we were talking about what review?
It was Human Nature.
Human Nature. For some reason, I mentioned. We're talking about race, weren't we?
Yeah.
And obviously, you have the whole story of Remembrance Daleks is about race, really, isn't it? In different factions and things.
Yeah.
And when Ace looks at the sign, which says "No Coloureds," I mistakenly thought the woman was called Mrs. Pierce. It's Mrs. Smith. And watched it again, and I was deeply disturbed by that I got that wrong. So I do apologise, and you may well have realised, but yes, it's Mrs. Smith and not Mrs. Pierce. Matt loves it.
So I take back when I said, I'm very impressed that you remember.
But I knew the bit of dialogue leading up to it.
Yeah. What else have we got? We've got the mention of Spyrodon as well. Another little nod to Planet of the Daleks. The Doctor creates that thing, that device to immobilise the Daleks.
Yeah. John Pertwee did the same thing.
John Pertwee did the same thing. Using a cassette case, yeah. And the spaceship. The spaceship in that story, the little shuttle. So impressive. Brilliant. They built a bloody ship and they landed it in a playground.
Yeah, very impressive.
No CGI or any of that stuff or models.
No.
They just went, we'll build a ship. That must have just... The budget on this story must have just went... Or it just... Well, it's just mad.
Yeah.
It just looked very impressive when it lands. I mean, alright, you can see the thing, and sadly, you can see that.
Only just.
But only just. But yeah, no, that is very impressive.
No wonder they couldn't do a decent Sideman ship in Silver Nemesis.
They bloody spent the budget on the Daleks. Yeah. We have, of course, the return, sort of the Emperor Dalek.
Right, yes.
I mean, did you know about the Emperor Dalek by this point? I mean, I don't know.
I think that's probably unlikely, because I don't think I would have had any understanding of Pat Troughton's story with the Emperor. So, no, I just thought, ooh, what's this? This is obviously the Emperor of the Daleks.
Yeah.
Didn't know. And then, obviously in part 4, when we know that Davros is the Emperor Dalek, I had seen Davros, I had some posters of Davros, so I knew what Davros was, so I was quite surprised. I didn't think during the story that must be Davros, but I was only 6 years old, so, I'm sure if I was a bit older I might have guessed that might be the case.
I mean, you can sort of tell it's Terry Malloy.
You hear it now, it's obvious, but at the time,
It's a shame, actually, that the BBC video actually spoils it, because Davros
on
the front cover. Yeah, it's a shame. I hate it when they do stuff like that.
I actually thought that the Renegade Daleks, the girl in the chair, I first of all thought that was Davros, because, well, you have the voice, and I thought, that must be Davros.
And it's black and silver, isn't it? Yeah. So, that's the Davros chair.
And obviously, it turns out to be the little girl who's been taken over. But at first I thought it must be Davros. So when she turns around and you realise it's not her, that was not him. That was a big shot.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sure that was done purposefully.
Yeah, probably was.
To make people think, there we are. Yeah. So and then when we actually do finally see Davros, he looks great.
I mean, brilliant.
That black. It's the black that gets me in his mouth. It just looks horrible.
Yeah. I was a little bit disappointed not to see the chair. You know, I think, but then again, you know, hey ho. That's like you said. The soul says, you know, you've abandoned your last vestiges of your human form.
Yeah. I mean, when I was a kid, because we had this discussion, I never thought that it was just Davros's head.
No, that's right.
I don't know. I think it was just because I could always see his shoulders.
So you assumed,
And I just assumed that he was just, you know, and especially when I got older and I'd seen Revelation of the Daleks, because I'd seen all these stories all out of order growing up. And obviously, when watching Revelation of the Daleks, and I knew, he now has no hands at all.
Yeah.
Or just like a stump. You know, I just thought, it's just his shoulder, he's inside it like that.
Yeah.
You know, and I guess he's still, when the Doctor says whatever he says about the vestiges of the human form, I guess, even though if he still has his torso and stuff beneath that, you know, the fact that he's just cocooned himself and he's hiding his real appearance, perhaps it could work in that way. But I'm sure Ben Aranovich says that it was meant to be just a head. I'm sure he said that.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't
because the only problem is it's the new series when he's back in the chair with his robotic hand, which is good that he do the robotic hand.
Yeah, that is good that they do that.
But how does that happen? How is he back in?
Yeah.
To the, you know, I know it's not identical. The chair's not identical, but it's meant to be very similar.
I mean, unless he just decided. I mean, unless he wasn't just a head, and then he just decided,
deny that chair very much. I'm going back to the original one.
Claustrophobic in this bloody thing with this one down all the time. I'll go back in my old chair. Another thing that we picked up on, which you didn't know about, was the talk of Bernard Quatermass.
Yeah.
Because the blonde lady, whatever her name is, or or Pamela Salem's character, says something about British Rocket Group has their own problems. She says something like, I wish Bernard was here.
That's right,
Bernard Quatermass. And she's like, no, British Rocket Group has got their own problems. So for anyone else watching this, they'll just be like, yeah, right, they're just chatting about their friends, whatever. Obviously, for people who have a bit more, you know, knowledge of these sci-fi type things, that is, of course, a reference to the Quatermass experiment and, you know, all those, the Quatermass franchise. And, you know, Google Quatermass and watch
I didn't know this
stuff, because Quatermass is really
good.
good.
Completely skipped by me. Even now, Matt has to tell me that the other day when we watched it. I went, is it?
Yeah.
Didn't know.
I mean, I never picked up on it until it was mentioned on the thing, and then I was like, oh yeah!
Oh right, on the documentary.
Yeah, just, I mean, I guess when I was watching it when I was a kid, I didn't know what Quatermass was.
No.
But yeah, no, I think that's a really nice little connection. So Quatermass and Doctor Who exist in the same universe, even though some Doctor Who stories are based on Quatermass stories, like the Demons.
Oh yeah.
That's based on Quatermass and the Pit.
And of course Doctor Who is actually mentioned in the programme itself. Well, although...
Oh yeah, and that little thing.
The television, but Races in there, and the black and white TV comes on, you know, and then a new science fiction series, and then skip to the next scene.
I don't know what to think about
I think it's brilliant.
Do you?
I like it. I think it's a very good little touch, especially it being, you know, anniversary year, you know, this is the year when it all started.
Yeah.
Because it could be, and I think in the documentary, Ben says something else. It means something else completely.
Yeah.
Like you just assume, Doctor Who, but actually it was going to be, you know, master plan.
The Carpool master plan, we haven't talked about that.
No.
So this is where the Carpool master plan begins, isn't it? Really, this is where we get the first, the first talk about this.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know what that is, well, for those of you who have been watching the new programme, obviously a lot of you will know there's been a lot of talk about Doctor Who. Who is the Doctor? Doctor Who. Oh, Doctor Who. What's your name? Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's not necessarily a very new thing. Andrew Cartmel, back in 1988, attempted to do the same thing. Sadly, the show got cancelled at the end of '89, therefore we never got any payoff to that. Not that we were meant to really get any payoff to this particular thing. The whole point was that it was just to create some mystery around the Doctor's character. Yeah. And so they thought, well, let's try and make him mysterious again. And that's why McCoy's Doctor becomes
very dark.
Very dark.
Yeah.
And I said to you, if you watch like any of the previous seasons, season 24, which I can't stand, if you watch any of that season and then you watch this episode, McCoy's character has just totally changed. It is like you're watching two different people.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
I mean, he still does some like little silly moments in this, which is nice, you know, that's fair enough. But when
much more serious.
But totally different. It is quite surprising. And also he gets to show off his like clowning and stuff in other stories, like Great Show in the Galaxy and stuff. And like some other little silly bits like we mentioned in Silver Nemesis and in Happiness Patrol, you know, which is good because obviously that is part of this Doctor's character. He's you know, he's a bit of a clown at times. Yeah. But it is that dark, mysterious element that really cements his Doctor, I think. Yeah. We have
there's more to him.
There's more to him than meets the eye.
And this is when it starts off. This story is the genesis of this idea that there's more behind the Doctor than we actually know. Yeah. And I like it. And this then sort of just very slightly, you know, every episode, or if you so many episodes, you get a bit more information, you know.
And finally, the last thing we should mention is the Supreme Dalek at the end, which is what I don't get in this story. The Doctor talks to the Supreme Dalek. Let's backtrack a bit here. The Doctor has tricked Davros into blowing up Skaro, the Hand of Omega.
That's a big thing.
Yeah, he just
for Skaro to be, you know,
destroyed.
See, the issue there is, you see, about the Thals that live on Skaro.
Yeah, everyone says this.
The Doctor allowed. You know, it just makes me wonder about, you know, genocide taking place.
Yeah. But that is his thing, you know, and he said this is the thing for this Doctor. Is, you know, even in Silver Nemesis, at the end of Silver Nemesis, with the Cybermen, the Doctor says, unfinished business.
Yes.
I think that was the idea, that rather than the Doctor goes, oh, look at me, I've accidentally landed on planet Caca, and the people are being enslaved by Sontarans, and I've got to defeat them, save the day, bye. It was more of a case that, well, how about the Doctor just thought, I'm sick of these Daleks, I'm sick of the Cybermen, I'm sick of the lot of them, bugger it, I'm going to go out and I'm just going to
wipe them out.
Get rid of them. So this was a very different type of Doctor.
Yeah, that's true.
And again, it adds to his mystery.
It does, yeah.
Because he plays people. Yeah. You know, and he gets Ace to do his dirty work.
A lot of the time he does.
With a rocket launcher, you know.
So Davros's Skoro's been destroyed.
The mothership blows up.
Mothership blows up. Davros escapes. His escape pod. You see the little.
Yeah, you see a little dot, a little white dot.
That's and then it blows up. Then it blows up, which is good.
And then the last Dalek left is the Supreme Dalek. And so the Doctor goes and talks to him. Now this isn't like Daleks in Manhattan when David Tennant goes up to the Dalek and goes, "Oh, you're the only Dalek left. Come on, let me help you." Yeah. Bollocks. This time, Sylvester McCoy is like,
you shit bag.
You know, and he sort of talks the Dalek to death.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, this Dalek has a mental breakdown so much so that it explodes. I don't quite get that. And the thing that I pointed out, obviously, these Daleks are extremely powerful and they can like kill anything and blow anything up. Yeah. The army truck comes down that way, and the army truck comes down that way, and it looks around as if it's like, oh bugger, I'm stuck. There's nowhere to run. You're a Dalek, just shoot them, blow them up. They're all in the van. You can kill about 8 people in one go.
It's true.
So that does. It baffles me. And he could have just shot the Doctor. Yeah. Because especially in the new series. In the new series, they make such...
When the Doctor tells him, I've defeated you, I've destroyed Skaro, and Davros is dead, just shoot him!
Yeah, you bastard. Because, I mean, the new series makes such a big deal. I mean, it's part of the problem that the Daleks seem so difficult to defeat or do anything with in the new series, is that they make such a big deal that, oh yeah, one Dalek can wipe out all these people, and, you know, it only takes one. You know, well, not in this case. No. It's just they're like, oh right, shit.
There is no data, insufficient data.
Yeah. So I've never really quite.
But like you say, I assume the Dalek kills itself.
Yeah, just self-destructs.
Self-destructs, because it can't deal with all the information that's been told. That, you know, Davros is dead. That even though Davros isn't, you know, he's not working with Davros, but you know, the creator is dead, and that Skaro is destroyed. and that basically, from his point of view, you're the last Dalek.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what happens. It's not overly clear, is it?
No.
To be honest. Yeah, they could have done something probably better than that, but you know,
time's running out.
Yeah, probably.
What you can do. Very good story. Oh, and one thing that you need to point out
is at the very end of the story, when they go to Mike's funeral, Sylvester McCoy does up his jacket. It's the only story you see his jacket done up for that one tiny scene.
Well done. Oh, and another cool thing is Ace has an earring that's got Batman on it.
Yeah.
And you didn't know that.
I didn't know it until we watched it this time.
And it was right at that end
And
scene.
I've watched this story so many times. But of course, on VHS when I watched it, the quality, yeah, but on the DVD, much clearer. And yeah, that last scene, you can see it very well. Scores? Are we doing that now?
Yeah, scores.
Me?
So, yeah, you go first.
Right, definitely has to be a 9.
Yeah, 9 out of 10.
Has to be. It's a brilliant story.
Yeah.
You know, actually, even tempted to go 10, but I was talking to Matt about this last week, and we said, would you ever give a story 10? And Matt said, even a story like Pyramids of Mars, which is a superb story, you know, there might be something that you could tweak to get a 10. And even in this story, like the ending with the Dalek, if they did something, you know, with that, perhaps, you know, that, but it's a very small thing, because the script is brilliant. It's so fluid.
Yeah.
It just runs very, very well from one scene to, it's brilliant. It's a very, very good story. So I would definitely say 9 out of 10, and, you know, if I had to be pushed, I might even say 10, but I'll go with 9. I'll go with 9, but it's a brilliant story.
Yeah, I'd say 9 as well. And if you haven't seen Remembrance of the Daleks,
yeah, watch it.
Bloody watch it. It's a brilliant story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's fantastic. You know, sometimes a 4-part, even a you know, you get 6-part stories and 7-part stories, and you think, oh my god, this really is dragging. They could easily cut a few episodes here or there.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get it with 4-part stories. Sometimes you think, oh, this seems to be going on a long time. This 4-parter, but that one, it really does just straight through. Very impressive.
Rebus Operation.
Oh Jesus! Don't even go there. I nearly had that to review. That was one of the ones you need to pick out.
That drags.
Yeah.
That's a drag story.
So, thank you for watching this review. We're going to come back and review The Green Death, aren't we?
We are.
And that will probably be your last review.
We will be, because I'll be back at school.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll be, I don't know, because I only get 1 week off in October, so I don't know if we'll just do one then. And
maybe.
university.
We'll be at university.
But, you know, sometime in the future we'll try and do just one now and again, just if you want.
And maybe when your child is a bit older, we can grab him or her and...
Well, in between us.
Yeah.
Ask them for their opinion.
Yeah, for their opinion. That's the thing. Jonathan's expecting a baby. What episode of Doctor Who should we show this child first? Because we were trying to think this. What would be a good episode to show a child? Obviously not like as soon as it's out. But you know,
no.
a couple of years.
Yeah.
What would be a good story?
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah. So if you have like a younger sibling, or if you're an adult and you've got your kids into Doctor Who somehow, yeah, what story did you think? Oh, I'm going to put this on. Personally, I just said, watch Doctor Who on your own, and while it's around, and just you know get it aware of what this is, and then you know, I mean, I'm sure that's what happened with me and you.
Yeah, definitely.
So So yeah, if you've got an idea, let us know. That'd be quite interesting. So thank you for watching this review, and we'll see you next time for the review of The Green Death.